ముందుగా ప్రియమైన విద్యార్థులకు మరియు వారి తల్లిదండ్రులకు నమస్కారం. నా పేరు కె వెంకన్న జూనియర్ కాలేజ్ చైర్మన్. నేను ఈ రోజు 10th క్లాస్ విద్యార్థులను దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని మాట్లాడడం జరుగుతుంది. అది ఏమిటనగా, మనందరికీ తెలుసు, గత 2 సంవత్సరాలుగా కరోనా కారణంగా విద్యార్థులు ఎటువంటి పరీక్షలు రాయకుండానే పై తరగతులు పంపడం జరుగుతుంది. ఫలితంగా ఐఐటి జేఈ మరియు నీట్ లాంటి జాతీయ స్థాయి పరీక్షలను సాధించడం కష్టతరం అవుతుంది. దీనిని అధిగమించడానికి మరియు 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలో అత్యధిక మార్కులు సాధించడానికి నేను మీ ముందుకు కె వెంకన్న జూనియర్ కాలేజ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ద్వారా అనుభవజ్ఞులైన అధ్యాపకులచే ఉచిత వీడియో క్లాసులు, హ్యాండ్ రిటన్ నోట్స్ మరియు గత ప్రశ్నపత్రాల సమాధానాల విశ్లేషణ ఇవ్వబడును. కాబట్టి నేను విద్యార్థులకు చెప్పదలుచుకున్నది ఏంటంటే, ఈ ఉచిత వీడియో క్లాసులను మరియు హ్యాండ్ రిటన్ నోట్స్లను క్లాస్ రూమ్లో కూర్చొని చదువుకున్నంత సీరియస్గా చదువుకోవాలను. ఇంకొకటి ఏమిటనగా, ఈ యొక్క క్లాసులు విన్న వెంటనే అర్థం చేసుకొని ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయవలను. ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయడం అంటే కేవలం చదవడం కాదు, పేపర్ మీద రాయవలను. అలాగైతే గుర్తుండిపోతుంది. దీంతో పాటు మీ యొక్క నాలెడ్జ్ని పరీక్షించుకున్న కొరకు త్వరలో ప్రీ ఫైనల్ పరీక్షలు కూడా నిర్వహించబడు. ఈ యొక్క అవకాశాన్ని సద్వినియోగం చేసుకోవాలని 10th చదివే విద్యార్థులకు విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నాను.
So here our next topic is it's the digestion. So where it will happen? In our stomach. So in our body we have the different systems, like we have the digestive system, respiratory system, reproductive systems, right? So first one I am going to discuss about the digestion. Nothing but digestion avadam ante kada. Manam food teeskuntunnam, tarvata emayipotundi, what is this journey? Okay, we are going to see. So man is given as the heterotroph example, and how he'll take the food, okay, and how it is digested, we'll see here. So with the means of a diagram I want to explain this. What are the parts of the digestive system? So I'm going to draw the diagram. Can you wait for me? Can't you wait? Okay, is the nose of any human being? Think. So this is the mouth, okay, where the food is taken, and next one will be having the oral cavity here, and after oral cavity we'll pass it into the esophagus. Then we'll be having a J shape stomach over here, and liver on this side, okay. Like this is the gallbladder, okay. Next, beside the stomach what we'll have? The pancreas. This is the duodenum, okay. Then large intestine, okay. This is the large intestine. Inside the large intestine what do we have? The some tube-like structures. This is a small intestine. Okay, it's not good, I think. Good. So this is the digestive system. What are the parts? So here this is the mouth, and this is after mouth will be having the oral cavity. Here the oral cavity, like oral cavity means this, after mouth we have this mouth, this oral cavity. Next, pharynx. Pharynx, both for the wind as well as for the food, it is the కామన్ ప్యాసేజ్. ఓకేనా, మనకి ఫుడ్ ఎలా తింటాము, మౌత్ తర్వాత ఏం వెళ్తుంది, లోపలికి వెళ్తుంది, ఒక లైక్ క్యావిటీ, లైక్ హోల్ వీ హ్యావ్, రైట్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓరల్ క్యావిటీ. ఇన్ ఓరల్ క్యావిటీ ఓన్లీ వీ హ్యావ్ ది టీత్, వీ హ్యావ్ ది టంగ్, isn't it? Yes, you know me better. Okay, next, pharynx, the tube like pharynx. Next structure, this is the esophagus, long tube like structure called the not long exactly, means short tube like structure called the esophagus. Next to the esophagus, like stomach we have. Next, this is the liver. This is the liver. Next, gallbladder. Okay, then pancreas. This is the C-shaped duodenum. This is the large intestine. Then small intestine. Okay, this is the ascending colon. Ascending means small to big, and this is a transverse colon, and this is a descending colon, from high to big. Okay, this is the rectum, and this is the anus. The last opening is the anus. So here our digestive system, from where it starts and where it ends. It starts with the mouth. It starts with the mouth here and ends in the anus. Okay, mouth is opening and anus is also ఓపెనింగ్. లైక్ మనం ఇంట్లో ఏంటి వాటర్ ట్యాప్ పెట్టుకుంటాం, వాటర్ పెడితే లాస్ట్ ఎండ్ వరకు వస్తుంది. ఈవెన్ దిస్ డైజెస్టివ్ సిస్టమ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో కంటిన్యూస్. ఇట్స్ లైక్ కంటిన్యూ, ఇట్ నెవర్ బ్రేక్స్ ఎనీవేర్. సో సి, it's a continuous fruit from here it never breaks, and last at the end it comes out. It's right. So it's like a continuous. So in so what is digestive system? Digestive system is nothing but breakdown of complex molecules into simple molecules. What is digestion? Digestion means breakdown. It's nothing but a process of breaking down of complex substances into simple one. Okay, and it is the catabolic process. Catabolic in the sense breaking. So the digestion means here the process of breaking down of complex molecules into simple, easy absorbable molecule is called the digestion. So food, whatever food we take, any curries, chapatis or any something like that, what we will be having in that? Carbohydrates, proteins, fats. So these are so complex molecules. We need to cut them. Our body in carbohydrate lo untanu anante kaadu. So it had to be cut down into small molecules so that body can absorb. ప్రోటీన్ కూడా అంతే. సో తిన్న వెంటనే డైజెషన్ అవ్వదు కదా, సో అబ్జర్బ్ చేసుకోవద్దు బాడీ, సో ఇట్ హ్యావ్ టు బీ డైజెస్టెడ్. ఓకే, ద సేమ్ థింగ్. సో what will be having in a digestive system? So we will be having the alimentary canal and the accessory glands. So what will have here? Alimentary canal and accessory glands will have. Okay, alimentary canal can also be called as GI tract. GI tract means gastrointestinal tract. So this alimentary canal starts from mouth. So after mouth, the food is sent into the buccal cavity or oral cavity. Then oral cavity after pharynx. Okay, then so you can see here mouth. So whatever the food we eat, then just it enters into the oral cavity, then the oral cavity to the pharynx. There pharynx, the wind is separated again, food is also separated. So air anedi wind pipe loki vellipotundi, food anedi food pipe loki veltundi. What is the food pipe there? Esophagus. So next it will enter into the esophagus. Esophagus. Next, then from esophagus to stomach. Then after stomach, okay, to the duodenum. The food will reach the duodenum here. Duodenum. And then in the duodenum we get all secretions from liver and pancreas. So this is the liver over here. From liver we get the bile juice, and from pancreas where it will mingle here in the duodenum. So in the pancreas they get the pancreatic juice and will enter in the duodenum. Then after duodenum the food reaches to the small intestine, then large intestine, then finally it reaches the anus. So this is like a pathway, right? Yes. Mouth. So here our food is mouth, then after mouth where it enters this is the mouth, buccal oral cavity. Okay, we will be having the teeth, tongue for the digestion. Next, pharynx we have the common passage. This is the pharynx, both air and the food, the common passage. Next one, esophagus. Then you will be having the stomach. This is the stomach. Okay, and next we will be having a pancreas here. Pancreas, and this is the liver. So whatever the juice from the pancreas and the juice and the liver bile, that is the bile juice we get, and they just enter in the duodenum place. Okay, after that small intestine. So the food will enter into small intestine, then it is absorbed here. So any waste materials it get enter into the large intestine, it will comes out. Then what are the parts of the small intestine? Okay, what are the three parts are there? Small intestine. What are the three parts, ma? Okay, I will show it here itself. So what are the three parts? Small intestine is, one is the duodenum, another one is the jejunum and ileum. Jejunum and ileum. Okay, these are the three parts of the small intestine. So this is a duodenum, C shape, jejunum, see here, not much coiled or called the jejunum, highly coiled one. This is the jejunum we'll call it, and ileum is so coiled. See, this small intestine is very long, okay. So like it can be many meters, okay. So you know we can't coil them in a just small place. So for that's why they are so coiled. We unwind it, they are very meters. Then what are the parts of different parts in large intestine? So what are the different parts of a large intestine means? You can see the colon, rectum and anus. Colon, in colon, ascending colon, descending colon and the transverse colon. Colon, you can see the rectum like a tube. Anus is the opening. And the cecum is like one finger like structure here, like some blubber like structure. This is the cecum. Here it is the appendix. Appendix is like small finger like structure. We get manaki 24 hours stomach pain ostundi kada. So it is because of the appendix only. This is a vestigial organ, okay, don't have any function, okay, they don't have any function. This is a vestigial organ, this appendix is the vestigial one, okay. So these are the some parts of the digestive, these are the parts of the digestive system. So mana food mouth loki enter avutundi, then oral cavity, then it reaches the esophagus, then stomach, then duodenum. So here till here the digestion will occur, means breaking of any molecule like that. Then afterward here also absorption will take place, like simple molecules they get absorbed, okay, if any remaining one are there or also digested. See, the undigested one will enter the large intestine and will come out in the anus. So here what will happen in each step we will see. And accessory glands, what are the different accessory glands? Salivary gland, liver and pancreas. These are the salivary accessory glands. Salivary glands will secrete saliva, liver will secrete the bile juice and the pancreas will secrete the pancreatic juice. Let us take example like if you want to do any juices, okay, like orange juice, mango juice, what we will do? We will cut the fruit material, we will put it in a mixie jar, okay, then what will you do? Will you repeat the same thing? No, definitely we need to add the water, right? The same thing here, when something is digested here, it can't make it like as it is like that. Water has to be added here. The same thing, just like water, the salivary juice, pancreatic juice or the liver, they will also help in the digestion. So we will see the step by step what will happen in the digestive system, okay. So now let's see what will happen in the each and every part, okay, in the digestion. So what will happen in the mouth and some terminologies you have in your book, and this digestion, right, it will be asked as your 8-mark answer. And by the way, and I forgot to tell, so the man is looking which side? So this is your right. This is the left side. So left side, your heart, your stomach will be pancreas, everything. He's turning towards, he's like this, is turning towards the right. Okay, and on the right side we will be having the liver and the appendix. You get the pain, right? So this appendix will be on the right side. Now we will see in detail what are the terminologies in the mouth, okay ma, and in the oral cavity, in the pharynx, like each and every step what are the enzymes involved in it, we will see here. So this is a pathway. Now I am going to explain in detail what are the parts in this.
Hello students, myself Sunil Kumar Badal. I have done my BTech from IIT Kanpur. Here at K. Venkanna classes, I teach chemistry. So right now I know you all are busy with your board exam preparation, but let me ask you a question. Suppose you want to be a cricketer. Who would you choose your coach? A cricketer or a wrestler? Answer is definitely cricketer. So in the
Okay, now the first one, mouth. So in the mouth what will happen? Food is there, it has to be digested. So in mouth what we will have, we will be having teeth, tongue. These are for the mastication. Mastication means chewing. Tongue is for the movement. So for the food molecules, for the easy one, okay, to chew, tongue will be the muscular one. Teeth is for the mastication. Mechanical digestion will happen. So that will happen in the mouth again. So mouth, what is the enzyme involved? So in mouth the food plus saliva, or the other name for the saliva is the amylase, or you can tell it as the ptyalin also we can tell. This saliva enzyme is there, right? It will be approximately nearly 6.8 pH, means slightly it's basic one, okay. Then year 7 it is a neutral one, after that it is somewhat basic. So what we will do here is it will act on the carbohydrate. So in mouth the carbohydrate digestion will start. So amylase here, so it will convert into maltose. So to what are the questions we can see here is the mastication can be asked, the 2 marks question, okay. This teeth for the chewing purpose, like mechanical digestion will happen by means of teeth, and tongue for the easy movement of the food. Then what will be there in the enzymes here is the saliva, secreted by the salivary glands. So food plus saliva, okay, we will be having the partially digested one. So the food plus saliva is called the bolus. This is the new one, I have introduced you the term. So the digestion, first the carbohydrate digestion starts from the mouth itself, okay. So the next one after the mouth, where it enters into the pharynx. Then after pharynx is a common passage both for the wind as well as for the food. The food will enter into the esophagus and the wind, okay, windpipe. So the next one, the food enters into esophagus, okay. Till here I hope it is clear for you. Mouth, okay, where in the mouth carbohydrate digestion will start, okay. What are the enzymes? That's the tongue. Next, food will enter into the esophagus here. By which movement? By peristaltic movement. Peristalsis movement. How food enters into the esophagus? Mana food ela emantaru mingutunnappudu, so how it enters into the esophagus, like small tube is there, okay. Okay, the food particle is somewhat big in size, like koncham peddaga unte etla avutundi, like this they move, right? Like simple example, like we drink any juices with the straw, right? Like how it moves, like peristaltic, okay, muscular movement. So that with that movement the food will enter into the esophagus. In esophagus nothing, no enzymes, just a tube like structure. So nothing happened, not any digestion, just it is a food passage, and the movement is the peristalsis. This peristalsis again is your, can be asked as a 2-mark question. Next, now the food will enter into the, so we have seen the mouth here, okay, mouth we have seen here. So the food plus saliva, here it is the bolus. Now it will reach the esophagus like this, peristaltic movement. So now which part it going to enter? Can you tell it? Which part it going to enter now? Definitely after mouth, like a continuous 2 by side now, okay? Same, exactly. The stomach it will reach here. So now its journey is in stomach after the esophagus. Okay, now stomach. So it's present on left or right? Which side? Yeah, right or left? Left side. So our stomach here, okay, on the left hand side will be your stomach, okay, on the right hand side liver, okay, and your heart will be somewhat slightly towards the left side. So in this stomach the food means partially digested, not fully completely digested, only the partial food, okay, partial food, okay, the partial food plus in stomach what is the juice present in stomach, what will be having? We will be having the gastric juice like pepsin, simply we can write a gastric juice. In gastric juice we will be having the pepsin and the HCl, okay. So this food is mixed with the certain juice like gastric juice, so it will convert into somewhat digested food, still on digestion. So that food plus this gastric juice or is called the chyme. So food plus gastric juice or HCl is called the chyme here, is called chyme, okay. So this gastric HCl will be the acidic one, okay. So you can ask me why, so I will ask one doubt. So manam em tinappudu whenever we are in fasting, right? So stomach lo em untundi, it will be in a like acidic one, so it's not like that. So whenever we food something is there in the stomach, so these juices will act on it. So when food is not there, okay, so it won't be in acidic form, neutral form. When food is there only these juices will act, or else it will be in a neutral form. So we have just seen mouth, yeah, first one. After the mouth we have seen the esophagus. Now food will reach by the peristaltic movement, and now next it has reached the stomach. In stomach the protein digestion will start. So in stomach what will happen here? The proteins, okay, the proteins start digesting here. It will, so the enzyme, the pepsin here it will act and it will convert into peptones and proteases like that, okay. So first one, carbohydrate. So in our food what are the major components like carbohydrate, fats and proteins, these are the complex one. So carbohydrate, they have to be broken down into the glucose molecule, simple one, this is a complex one, this is simple one. So the next one, fat, fat should be broken down into the simple forms like fatty acid, glycerol, and proteins, to amino acids. Okay, so this is their journey. Okay, end point అనేది ఉంటుంది కదా. These are the, I said the digestion is a catabolic, means broke. It have to be any particle like complex one, they have to be broken down. So definitely the carbohydrates, fats and proteins, these are the complex one, complex substances. They have to be broken down into the simple molecules so that they can absorb. Okay, this is what their destination. Starting journey enti carbohydrate, fat, any protein. So what is the final destination? Final destination to get into simple molecules like glucose. Carbohydrate aithe glucose ga convert avutundi, fat aithe fatty acid and glycerol. Next protein aithe amino acid. These are the simple forms. So our protein, sorry, our carbohydrate journey started in mouth. Okay, from mouth itself our carbohydrate journey starts. Next the protein journey, it will start. Okay, not any ending here. The ending will complete in the small intestine. Only the journey will start. The rest over one can be seen in the small intestine, like undigested one. So the journey of protein starts here. So the next one, can you tell the next one where it reaches? The duodenum, the C-shaped one. So the C-shaped one is the duodenum here. So what are the things we have completed, ma? Once we'll recall it once. So mouth is over, the food is there in the mouth. After mouth to here the esophagus, then esophagus to the stomach. So carbohydrate digestion will start in the mouth. Next one, in the stomach our protein digestion will start here. And next, so the next place is the duodenum. So in duodenum we will also receive the certain juices from other parts also. What are the other parts connected to it? Is the liver. From liver, bile juice. From pancreas, what we get it? Pancreatic juice. So both will combine in the duodenum. Okay, not in any stomach, not in like other parts. The duodenum will receive the liver and the pancreatic juice from the both from liver and pancreas. So in duodenum, after the stomach, it will come to the duodenum. In duodenum, we can see the liver. Liver will secrete the bile juice. Okay, the liver is the largest gland. Okay, largest gland. Okay, next one. So any food. So the bile juice will act. So what will happen here? So bile juice, whatever the food, here the fat, so the bile juice will act on the fat here, means the remaining food. In that remaining food, it will act on the fat over here. This bile juice will convert the large fat molecules into simple one, like fatty, like small fat droplets, small fat. Well, simply this process can also be called as, can you tell it? We have in the chemistry also. What is that process? Converting of large fat molecule into small molecules, can called as emulsification. This is what emulsification is. What is emulsification? Large fat, like this, large fat molecule into small micelles, like small fat, is done by bile juice. Okay, this is the emulsification. This can be asked as the 1 mark or even for the 2 mark. So, after mouth, esophagus. In esophagus, nothing, any juice are not acted here. Next comes to the stomach. When comes to the stomach, the gastric juice, HCl act on it. We call it as chyme. So, here our protein digestion gets started. So, proteins into, like these are the dimers, peptones and proteases. Then it will reach the duodenum, C-shaped one. In duodenum, they get the liver as well, liver from liver they get the bile juice, from pancreas they get the pancreatic juice. So, a bile juice, what does it do? They converts the fat molecule into small droplets. We call it as emulsification of fat. So, this is the emulsification of fat. So, we have done till the duodenum, and in the duodenum we can also see the pancreatic juice. Okay, pancreas will secrete, like a pancreas is both the exocrine and endocrine gland. Okay, endocrine, like it secretes a hormone. Can you tell the hormone name? What is the hormone? Insulin hormone is secreted by the pancreas. So, this insulin hormone, what does it do? It reduces the sugar level. So, andike manaki diabetes, we are calling it diabetes, right? So, emuntundi vallalo insulin production will be less. So, that's why they are having the diabetes. They are not able to decrease the sugar level. So, that's because of no insulin. If you want, I will tell them in the detail what is the sugar means, but diabetes. Now, for this class, I will tell pancreas is both exocrine as well as endocrine. Exocrine means like they secrete the secretion to the ectodermal region, like this enzymes. Simple, we can say it is enzymatic. They secrete the enzyme. So, the food, they act on the food. This pancreatic juice. So, if any amylase, like amylase, pancreatic amylase and trypsin, okay, lipases, okay, amylase will act on protein, okay, trypsin also, here trypsin converts the carbohydrates, sorry, here amylase is for the carbohydrate and trypsin proteins here, lipases fats. So, if any carbohydrate is there, they will convert into the proteases or the peptones form, proteases, still any peptides we can call it. If any not have completed the 50%, if any remaining one are there, not exactly 50, they do their function, and like trypsin also. So, this is here, and here maltose. So, dimer form, lipases also the same thing, any fatty acids and glycerol. So, understood ma? So, if any amylase is there, it will act on carbohydrate and will break down into maltose here, okay, and any dimer like maybe sucrose, like that. Trypsin will act on the proteins and converts into peptones and proteases, like that. Lipases also the same, and fats into fatty acids and glycerols. Till now we have seen the liver and the pancreatic juice. Now we will see the intestinal juice. This is also done in the duodenum only, because duodenum is a part of the small intestine. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. In duodenum, till duodenum, digestion completes. After that, ileum and the jejunum, those are for the absorption purpose, that's all. Okay, what is the name for the intestinal juice is succus entericus. Succus entericus. Succus entericus is the name for the intestinal juice. Secretes the intestinal glands, like the surface of the intestine will also have the different layers like mucosal layer, submucosal layer, okay, muscularis, like that. In that layer we will be having some gland. That glands will secrete the intestinal juice. So what they do, the remaining functions they do. What is the remaining functions? If any maltose is there, so maltase will act and converts into sugars like simple sugar, like glucose, okay. Next sucrose is also there. If any sucrase will act, okay. Now simply write it as sugars, simple sugars, okay, simple sugars you can write, okay, simple forms, okay, like simple sugars like glucose plus fructose, like that, okay, glucose plus glucose, like that. So they convert into simple forms. So this is the end of the digestion here. The next remaining one is the absorption. So like simple forms, like the simple forms are, so simple forms, till here absorption will take place. From here absorption will, till here digestion completes, here any absorption will take place. If undigested one are there, if water is there, absorbed is not anything, okay. Undigested will come out of the large intestine and rectum and then anus. This is how the pathway is. So here you can see the table drawn for you. So see here. So ptyalin secreted by salivary glands, so act on carbohydrate, converts to maltose. Next, pepsin secreted by gastric glands, what it will do? It will act on proteins and converts to peptones. Next, bile secreted by liver. So what will it do? Fat to small droplets, called emulsification. So carbohydrate here, okay, as I said, right? So here mouth is the region and the next one is the stomach here. Next, amylase, okay, these are amylase, trypsin, lipase, they are all secreted by the pancreas, act on carbohydrate to maltose. Then proteins, trypsin will act on proteins, so peptones. Next, lipase will act on fat to fatty acid, means like any dimer, like that they convert. Finally, the small intestine will digest even the dimers to the monomers, like peptidases, peptones, peptides to final destination is this amino acid, glucose is their final destination. So what is the final destination? Amino acid from protein, next glucose from carbohydrate, fatty acid and glycerol. These are their last destinations. Simple one. Okay. Proteins to, I have written there, right, in the first one. Proteins to amino acids, carbohydrates to glucose, fats to fatty acid and glycerol. So this is how the digestion is. This can be asked as your for the 8 marks, even for your 4 mark also. They can ask the area. So like dash, ptyalin is secreted by, okay, and on which one they are acted on. Okay, like this. Even they can give this table, they can ask you in between also. You should be ready for the 2 mark, 4 mark and 8 mark from this area. So this, don't leave this digestion. Simple, once you read it you get. Okay.